Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the Shanty Knits podcast. I am your host, Chantal. If you are a returning viewer, I just want to say thank you for taking some time out of your day and spending some time here with me again. If you are a returning viewer, or if you are a new viewer, I just wanted to say thank you for giving me a shot. If you are here from the I Rock Knits podcast, my production is definitely not on par with Corey's, but I hope that you'll stick with me and enjoy what you see. So thank you for giving me a shot, and thank you for spending some time with me as well. On Instagram, I can be found as Shanty_D, and on Ravelry, I can be found as Shanty Knits. Both of those will be linked below if you wanted to go and check out some project pages or check out some of my pictures on Instagram. Today, I will be talking about 3 finished objects, a half object, a test knit half object. I still have some ends to weave in and some sewing to do, but I'll add some pictures in to show you that one. And then 2 test knit whips that I'm working on. So without further ado, let's get started. So for returning viewers, you will have seen this already. It is now finished and the pattern is now released. This is the Fairy Wisp Shawl by Hannah of the Tales of Yarnia podcast. I will add some pictures in just so you can see the stretch of it and everything like that, hopefully here. So if you wanted to see some of the parts up close, it is an asymmetrical shawl. You start off with this part right here, fan and feather, and then it works into an eyelet garter and stretches all around doing your increases, and you'll just alternate between that fan and feather lace and the eyelet garter. The only modification that I did on this one was at the end. I wanted to use up all my fingering weight yarn, so I just alternated rows until all my yarn was gone, and then did the I-cord bind off at the end. All Hue Local yarns. I'm not going to try to speak on this too much, because if you are interested in it, I do speak about it in episode 3 in depth. So just a quick rundown of the finished object if you are new. Hue Local yarns. These 2 are her 80/20 fingering base, and then the dark blue is her mohair sapphire base. The one thing that I will say that I love about this yarn and how it came together was this dark blue kind of brings out the dark blue speckles in both the blue yarn and the pink yarn. So I love how that sapphire brings it together. I did mention before that I was going to give away this because I wasn't a fan of mohair. I changed my mind. I'm definitely going to keep this. This is going in the Shanty Shawl stockpile. I'll probably give away, I do have lots of shawls, so I'll probably give away a shawl that I already have in my stockpile to my mom. She loves my old shawls. They're not old to her, they're new to her, and she loves them no matter how old they are. But I keep my shawls pretty well stored, so they're not like all raggedy looking, and I would never give away something raggedy. But I'll probably give her a shawl or 2 just to make room. For this one, this is definitely going to be a nice spring, early summer addition to my shawl wardrobe. It's going to make a great wrap for some summer dresses, and I am definitely looking forward to wearing it. I think that is all for the rundown of this one that I wanted to go through. Trying not to spend too much time on it just because I've talked about it previously, but let me check my notes. Oh, yes, I did enter this into a Cal. I entered it into the Cal that Elle from the Curio Yarns podcast is running. It is the Color Along Cal, so I think it's a Mal, actually. Yeah, they're spinning in there. So it's a make-along, not a knit-along. So you can go over there, check out the rules that she's running for that, or rules she's hosting for that make-along. Definitely a lot of color, and like I said, this blue, I think, ties all of it together. I love how it came out. Definitely keeping it. No one's getting this as a gift. Mine. So, let me switch out on my mannequin to one of my, this is hard, one of my finished objects back over here. So we will switch her out and do a quick wardrobe change. So, wardrobe change complete. This is the Telleruc sweater by Audrey of the Yarn Flakes podcast. For this one, this is knit out of, the black is Knit Picks palette, and the blue multicolor is Knit Picks Chroma, not Korma, in the Narwhal colorway. I think I said mermaid last time. That was wrong. So wrong. This is the Narwhal colorway. It has a split hem in the back. Love that split hem detail. And also the marling that you do with both the black, your main color, and your contrast color. And it has that on the sleeves as well. So you have that marling effect. Everything is finished in an I-cord bind off. And let me tell you, I did the I-cord not just for the bottom hem, but also for the button band and the sleeves. That was a labor of love. I think it was like 400 stitches. But I love the finished object. I love how it came out. So I'm not going to complain too much. You can see that beautiful finish with that I-cord bind off. I did it in the contrast color. The pattern says to do it in the main color, but I love that narwhal so much I decided to do it in the contrast color. And then for my button band, I did a striped garter. Me and Audrey were talking about different things that we could do for the front panel, and we talked about a corrugated rib, but both her and I agreed that that would be kind of too jarring for the pattern itself. It might take away from the motif. So we went with the striped garter, and I really like how that came out. I did do some short rows in the collar, in the narwhal, but once I have it on, you kind of can't see it. I do have some project pictures that I'll add in here. So you can see how it wears. I love the way that it came out. The only thing that I am going to add to this is probably a ribbon for the steek. It's a woolly wool, so I'm not too concerned about it coming off. But I love the way exactly how it is. I love the length of it. I love how it looks. So in order for this not to stretch too much in length, I'm going to add that ribbon in there just to kind of help keep it in place, because I definitely love the way that it came out. That motif is just stunning. It is a bottom-up knit sweater. So you do steek for the sleeves, and then if you're making the sweater version, she has steeks for the neck hole as well. And then you knit the sleeves, you attach the sleeves and knit down. At the top, you probably see it better in my project photos, but you have this part where you kind of use just the main color, so she gives you instructions on where to stop the pattern, just so it's not a jarring break in the motif. And then you knit in the main color for some of those shoulders, for that shoulder seam area. I think that's it that I wanted to say. I do talk about it in episode 3, so if you're a new viewer and you want to know a little bit more about how the pattern is knit and the construction of it, I do go more in depth in episode 3 about it. But that is it for this. If you have any questions, pop them down below if I'm missing something. But I definitely do love that I-cord. It came out so nice. It blew my mind how long it took, but it definitely made the finished garment come together perfectly. And I don't know if you noticed at the back, but because it has that change in colorway, it has 2 different blues at the back, and I love the detail that it adds to it. It brings your attention to that split hem, so I like it. This one has a May 8th release date. She kind of pushed the date back. I think it was originally like the end of April, but now it's May 8th. It was for the Knit Eat retreat in France, southern France, but that's no longer going on because of the quarantining and everything like that. So she pushed the date back for the release date of that, but I do have a project page up. I didn't add all my photos in here because I took quite a few, so if you are interested, you can definitely go check out the project page, but the pattern is not linked, obviously, because the pattern isn't released yet. Quick, dirty rundown of that, and we'll do another wardrobe change for my last finished object, which is a sweater as well, with my hand-dyed yarn. Wardrobe change number 3. So last finished object is the Scrying sweater by Elle of the Curio Yarns podcast. Another pattern that's not quite released yet, but I want to say that she's going to release it sometime in early May, or early to mid-May. Let's go there. Don't quote me, but I think that's the date. This is a another bottom-up construction, and for this one I made 2 modifications. So I made the neckband a little bit wider, just because I want it to be more of a summery top. And I'm not a fashionista, but whatever that kind of slightly hang off the shoulder thing is called, that's what I was going for with this. Because it's a drapey yarn, I want it to be like a nice spring, summertime sweater for a chillier summer day, obviously. But it's made out of a bamboo and wool blend. Supposedly bamboo is supposed to keep you cool. This is my first bamboo sweater, so I'll check back in with you on that one. If I wear it on a summer day and I absolutely die in it, I will let you know that that is not true. Just so you don't make the same mistake that I do. But I did do some short rows in the back as well, just to make this neckline in the front a little bit more dramatic for that off-the-shouldery look. I did do the sleeves bottom up 2 at a time, and so I don't Mobius the sleeves. I usually knit them flat first and then join in the round and seam them up. But for this one, I kept it as a split hem because I really liked that detail. When the sweater all came together and I tried it on, I absolutely love the way that the split hem came out. So I kept the split hem and the broken rib part. It sits about right here on my arm. So not quite 3/4 sleeves, but not like a half sleeve, somewhere in between those two. The sweater is a little bit longer than the pattern does call for. I think it's supposed to sit like right at mid-hip, and I made it come down just a little bit longer. So 3 modifications actually. But my own hand-dyed yarn in, did I say bamboo and wool? Yes, bamboo and wool. So I'll check back in with you on the bamboo and wool. I think that is it for this sweater. Yes, it is. So, if you have any questions, please pop them down below. I did enjoy knitting this. It definitely was TV knitting, but if you're new to bottom-up sweaters, I would definitely give this one a try because it's simple. It doesn't have too much shaping. You can add, if you are familiar with sweater knitting, you can add modifications to it, mostly with no problem because it is such a straightforward pattern. It's not a bottom-up yoke. It's a bottom-up raglan. I don't think that you can see it in here, but I'll add the pictures in so you can check those out and see that it is a raglan construction. Right here. But other than that, I like the way that it came out, and I'm looking forward to wearing it. I can't wait to, and this yarn is just so soft. The bamboo blend. I'll link to, it's a bare yarn, but I'll link to it at the bottom in the description box just so you can check it out if you are interested in purchasing some and trying some out on your own and dyeing up some yarn. So that is my last finished object, Scrying Sweater by Elle. And that's it for that. So for my whips, both are test knits. Both I dyed the yarn up for as well. So for the first one, I'll just go grab the one that's closest. Oh, sorry if it's crinkling, but pro tip. This is one of those sheet bag things that they come in. If you are good at folding up sheets and getting them back in here, more power to you. I am not. but I don't want to throw away the plastic. It's a pretty nice plastic, so I use it as a project bag. I put the pattern in the front just in case you're one that throws whips to the side. You pick it up and you know exactly what's in it. Also, it's clear. But I'll put it down just so it's not too crinkly for you. This is a French sweater with a wonderful name that I can pronounce. It's called the Junie Sweater. It's by Audrey of the Yarn Flakes podcast. It's actually a cardigan. Scratch that. It's a cardigan. It's one that I do not have to modify. She made a cardigan pattern, so no steeking, no anything. Just a plain, straightforward cardigan pattern. I'm almost to the split for the sleeves. I think I have about 10 more rows for the split to the sleeves. I am knitting it on the recommended needle size, which I didn't write down or bring the pattern. Sorry. Super professional here. Can't you tell? I mean, it's not like it's my 4th rodeo or anything like that. But this has a garter raglan detail throughout the sweater. And then, I don't think you can see it. Yeah, I'm running out of color ink, so it's not a great picture. But on the sleeves and on the bottom hem, there is a lace detail as well. It has kimono style type sleeves, so like a wide sleeve. It's supposed to be a summery top, so I want to say they're half sleeves or 3/4 sleeves. They look like 3/4 sleeves on the pattern. And both the sleeve and the hem have that lace detail on the bottom. I probably won't show this to you again until I get to that lace detail, just because it is a straightforward cardigan pattern, knit, purl, knit, purl. For this one, I'm alternating the skeins on every purl row. And I'll try to get a good close-up so you can see. But, like right here, the dye took up more yellow than green first. So, I definitely have to alternate the skeins for that one. This is a 50/50 silk yak blend. She is using a yak blend in hers as well, but it's a French yarn, and right now I believe there's like limited shipping or no shipping for French companies unless they're essential. So there's no way I could buy the yarn and use it, but I did have this in stash. I dyed it at the same time I dyed this, so they're basically the same color, and you could see that this one came out a little bit darker, and this doesn't have those speckles of yellow, so it took up the yarn a little bit different, the silk and the yak, and then the bamboo and the wool. But they are pretty similar still, but they're the same exact recipe. I made them both at the same exact time, except this one I used charcoal for that black, not necessarily speckle, but chunk of color. I don't know what they call it. This is why I'm not a professional dyer. I don't know what that's called. I'm not a fashionista, and I'm not a professional yarn dyer. So, don't quote me on the strict terminology that I use for my colors. But this is a yarn 50/50 silk yak. I'm definitely looking forward to finishing this. Nice summer top again. You can probably see it's definitely airy. Can you see me through it? It's definitely going to be an airy top. I don't think there's anything else that I needed to say about that. Don't ask me where that country action just came. Yeah, so this one is released mid-May as well. And I can't wait. I'll probably be done with it fairly soon because it is a straightforward knit purl cardigan. So, shouldn't take me too long. And seeing as I only have the 2 projects to work on, it shouldn't take me that long. Sorry for the crinkle if you can hear that. My second work in progress. Another yarn that was dyed by me. And this one I equally love. So this is an orange that has a turmeric base to it. I'm not sure if you can see some of those speckles of yellow in there, but you can definitely see them in the cardigan once I show you. But it definitely has the tonal. Some places are more orangey, some places are more yellowy. I love how it came out. This is a merino. Let me get you the correct. 70-20-10. So merino wool, silk, and cashmere blend. Another spring summer top. We're moving into that season, so the Telleruc was probably the last heavy sweater I'll be knitting for a while. And I'm sad because I won't be able to get to wear it too much. Well, today is kind of chilly, and I probably could get away with it as a jacket. But since we're not allowed to go anywhere, I'm just going to wear it as a jacket around the house, maybe. Now that I've shown it to you, I can wear it. I don't like wearing my finished objects until I show it to you guys, just because I am that person that if I have to keep something nice, I'm going to spill ketchup or mustard or soy sauce on it for sure. No doubt about it, that if I haven't taken a picture of it yet, I'm going to spill something on it, because that's the person I am. That is my luck, and that's the person I am. So, back on subject. But this I am using in conjunction with this. This is Hue Loco 80/20 Superwash Nylon in her Serendipity colorway. It's kind of blown out. Cloudy day today. But you can see it also has areas of yellow, orange, red, and some of the red where it kind of melds with the yellow is like a pinky tone. So I'm liking the way that it's coming out. Definitely loving that. And for this is going to be the main color for the button band and the collar. But I'm also doing it as an air of interest on the bottom hems. So I just did 2 rows, I believe. Yes, 2, because I knit this flat. But 2 rows of this Serendipity colorway, and then I'll do the same thing on the sleeve hem, and then the collar and button band are going to be all solid of that Serendipity colorway. For this one, I knit the front band. I'm not sure that you can see that. There it is. The front band flat. So here's my steek. So you can see I knit the ribbing flat, and then I added my steek stitches in. For this one, I did a wider steek than I normally do. I did an 11 stitch steek just because it's, sorry, I lost a stitch. It is a cashmere blend, and it is a fairly slippery yarn. I want to do 2 rows on each side of a machine steek, just in case, like I just said, I'm that person, so I might pull on it and not hear like one of the rows pop or something, and if I'm able to catch it before it all the way unravels, and I can redo the machine steek because it has another steek, machine steek backup on it, perfect. But this, I'm making a cardigan if I haven't made that clear yet. It's a sweater pattern. So I knit the ribbing flat, and then for the pattern, it starts at this side texture panel right here. It is blowing all the way out. But there is a side texture panel right here. And you start, this is the beginning of the round for the sweater. So when I finish knitting this flat, I actually slip stitches back to this point and then continued knitting from the pattern in the round with the texture. Then I backwards loop, cast on those steek stitches, and then joined it in the round and continued knitting in the round. I'll definitely add that in my project page if you're looking to make it a cardigan version as well. But it did just take some brain work just to figure out where that beginning of the round is and how to do it. For the fronts, though, I think all the sizes, the front number of cast-on stitches are odd. So either you add a stitch on one side or the other. I did not, because I'm test knitting, I want to follow the pattern as closely to the original as possible. So for mine, I did an even number on this side, an odd number on this side, and it's only negligible by 1 stitch. So unless you have somebody who's really has an eye for detail, I don't think that they'll see it. So I think I'll be good. And yeah, that's it about the steek. Do have some ends from knitting that flat, but once you pick up for the button band, I'll probably weave those into the button band for that. For this cardigan slash sweater, it has a lace panel on the left front and the right front, and they're mirror images of each other. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that comes out with the button band and collar. And then on the sides underneath, you know I love a textured seam. So it has seed stitch textured seam right here. And I'm going to see, I haven't read that far into the pattern, but you know I love a textured sleeve. So I'm going to see if I can kind of half that textured sleeve, because I don't think I'll be, it's 20 stitch texture, I think, maybe. I don't know. It's a large texture pattern, and I don't want it to come over here. I just want it to be like a small detail right here. So if I can, when I get there, if I feel like doing the math, I will see how much I would need to shrink it down so that it's right in the middle of the side texture panel and it kind of lines up perfectly. So you have the leaf motif on both the right and the left in the front, side seed stitch texture panel, and then in the back, try to do this without losing stitches, you have a full leaf panel. Hopefully you can see that. My screen is small, so, and it's unblocked. But I'm looking forward to seeing how that comes out as well. Very nice details, very delicate details on this, and love the color, so I'm looking forward to wearing it. If you have any questions about it that I haven't mentioned, please drop a comment down below. I'd be happy to answer them, as long as they're not like pattern specific, because I'm not going to give away a pattern. But this is released at some point, because I didn't write down the date. I want to say, I'm not going to lie. I want to say a date, but I'm pretty sure that that's not the date, so I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm not even going to do it to you. So that's this, the Lonny Cera sweater by Hannah. I'm making a cardigan version. Lace front panels, lace in the back, textured on the side. Definitely going to be a cute, delicate sweater for the summertime. The pattern calls for, I believe it's a size 4. No, size 3, and I'm using a size 4. So I had to go up a needle size for that. So definitely swatch for that, because it does make a difference, because you have all those lace and texture motifs. So you'll definitely probably have to swatch for that. I think I remember Hannah saying that she is a loose knitter. I am not necessarily tight or loose, so I did have to go up just a needle size for that one. And then I have one more project that is almost done. It is a half object, but before I get into that, we'll stop for tea time. This is my new cup. Let me hold it like this so you can see it in its full glory. It is a unicorn cup, and if you can't read that, it says, "I don't believe in humans." This is my quarantine cup that is making me feel all better about being stuck in the house all the time, every day. So this is that. Wonderful mug. It has a generous handle. I have a smaller hand, so you have plenty of room right here if you do have a bigger hand. It looks like it might be awkward because of this, but it actually is not an awkward hold for the cup. Inside of this, let me take a drink. Inside of it, I am drinking the Green Bush, an herbal tea, South African green. If somebody knows how to say this, please tell me, phonetically, down in the comments. Because I've had multiple arguments with people at work about it, my husband. I say rubioise. Some people say something different, but it's green rubioise. And it's usually used in like herbal chais and things like that, but this is the green version of it. It's called Green Bush from the Jasmine Pearl Tea Company. It is caffeine free and herbal tisane. This company I like to order a lot of herbal tisanes from, so they have like pure chamomile leaves, dry ginger, dry licorice, whatever tisane or spice that you're looking for, they actually do have it so you can make your own kind of herbal teas with the things that they have. So like for that one, if I'm feeling like I need a boost or something, I'll actually mix that with some dry ginger, and it's really, really good to me. If you're not a ginger fan, probably won't like it, but to me, that with some dry ginger, or even fresh ginger, but dry ginger has more of like their dry ginger has more of a pungent, so I get more for less, as opposed to like putting in like 4 or 5 slices of fresh ginger in the tea. I could just put like a spoonful of dry ginger in the tea and get the same kind of flavor, and save my fresh ginger for actual food. But that's the tea that I'm drinking. That's my lovely quarantine mug that I bought for myself. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I got it from Amazon. If you search unicorn mug, you'll get a plethora of unicorn mugs, but that's the one that I chose, and that is my quarantine mug that makes me smile and makes me happy whenever I get up and say, what am I doing today? I am sitting in the house today. That is what I'm doing. So, if you need a little bit of joy in your life, get you a quarantine mug. Unicorn. Perfect. So, my last half object slash finish object, I have some ends to weave in and I have some sewing to do. I don't have with me, it is blocking. So, like I've mentioned before, I like to weave in, like, especially with the edging that it has on this pattern. Let me enter pictures. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. It has the edging. I haven't sewed in those ends just because I want it to be able to stretch fully to its full potential without any kind of weirdness going on. But it is a poncho, not a shawl, so that dark blue edging actually gets sewn to the other light blue edge, and it hangs as a poncho. I'm actually going to gift that one, so I made it a little bit shorter than what the pattern states, just because I want it as a gift, and not everybody likes long shawls, and not everybody likes caplet type shawls, or ponchos. I'm saying shawls. Not everybody likes caplet type ponchos, so I made it like a mid-length, just so whoever I gift it to will hopefully like it. One of my mother-in-laws will probably, seems right up their alley. They both like blue. Even my Nana likes blue, so if you're watching, hi Susan, hi Nana, hi Cindy. So one of them might get it if I don't make something else later in the year that I can definitely say, oh, this is Cindy or this is Susan. So I have 2 Christmas gifts running along ahead of the curve. So I'm looking forward to that. That is by, I'm not going to do it. It's a very French name, and I'm going to put it at the bottom of the screen. That is the designer. Her wonderfully French name. It's the Dances with Leaves Shawls, or poncho. That one has a release date mid-May, I would say. No, April 20th. That's the one. April 20th. Today is the Friday, the 17th. Friday, 17th, 18th. Let me check. 17th. I was right the first time. Friday the 17th. So that one comes out in a couple days, and I'm almost done. Hopefully Saturday is supposed to be a nice day, and Sunday is supposed to be a nice day, so hopefully I get some pictures in. This will probably be uploaded before I get those pictures done, so you'll just have the blocking pictures, but I'll definitely come back and link down below if you're watching this later to the project page. So I think that is it for my finished object actual knitting content. If you were here just for that, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for spending some time with me. I hope you and your family are staying safe. Remember, everything is for a season, so we're not going to be locked in the house forever. Stay safe. Keep your head up. Try to stay sane. So, thank you for joining me, and if you want to stick around, I have some gardening questions and compost questions for you, as well as some other yarn I dyed and some acquisitions. So, thanks for joining me. For those of you staying, I have this wonderful purple that I dyed. This is the Sheep to Shorn yarn from Melissa of the Knitting the Stash. This is a purple that I dyed up. It finally told me what it wanted to be. Also, I was bored because we're quarantined. But yeah, you can see it. So you can see it has some reds and some blues and dark purple in there. In my wonderful professionalism of dyeing, I didn't write down the recipe, and I wish I did, because I absolutely love how this purple came out. Look at that. It's going to be awesome. And then you can see like those red spots and some of the darker blue, indigo. It came out awesome. So this is from Melissa of Knitting the Stash, Shorn 2019 clip. 50% Cordell, 50% Cordell Teeswater Cross. 250 yards for 4 ounces. It is classified as a 3-ply sport weight. And I think I'll make like a cowl with this, because I want you to see that purple around my neck and how wonderful that came out. And this isn't cheapy or rough to me. If you're sensitive to wool, it might be a little bit scratchy, but I like it. You would never know with all my cashmere yarn that I dye, but I don't mind sheepy yarn, or what is it called? Rustic yarn. I don't mind it at all. But I love the way that came out. From sheep to shorn. I mean, look at it. Can you tell I'm happy with how it came out? So for acquisitions, I have 2. One of them, hopefully you will have it, but it is from Hugh Loco's Chicken Club. So if you haven't gotten your Chicken Club, look away for 3 minutes, or just kind of listen, and because I'm not quite sure how to do the timestamps yet. Maybe one day I'll get that up. But if you hear crinkle, sorry for that as well. Let me show you the front. But this is her Color Riot. It is 5 mini skeins, and it's this wonderful blue, a blue speckle with green. Yeah, you can see the green down here and the blue at the top. Then you have blue speckle with a little bit of brown, and then a brown moving into there. So I love how this came out. I like all her clubs, if you can't tell. If I can afford them, I get them. So that's the chicken. You can look back now, but that's the Chicken Club colorway. My last acquisition is from Taylor Owen of Thread to Mend. And she was trying to start her own natural yarn dyeing business. You can't really see it, and I doubt that it's going to pick it up, because it is a very faint pink, but this is an avocado dye. And I didn't bring in the tag, so I'm not quite sure what the mix is. It's definitely soft, and I believe it's a woolen spun, because it is super springy. It's super springy, so I think it's woolen, but I'm not quite sure. And it's an avocado dye. I don't think that she has any more yet left, and from what I understand from her other podcast, she's not going to be doing the dyeing too much now. I think the quarantine kind of messed that up for her. I hope one day she does get back in it, because I really like this yarn, and I like the color. I'm not usually a neutral person. I like vibrant purples and pinks and oranges, but I like this, and I like the way that it feels. So that is my last acquisition. I have some questions, and I hope that some of you can help me with it. I started a composter, and I have a bin composter because I rent, and I don't want to mess up a portion of this person's yard. But I have a bin composter, and I don't think it's really composting. It looks like it's breaking down, but not really. And I know that it can take years, but I did put in a compost activator, I think it is, and I don't know that it's helping. From what I've read, the weather really shouldn't affect it that much, especially for a bin. But if you have any links or suggestions about bin composting, please drop those down below, because I am super confused. And from what I'm finding, there shouldn't really be a problem. It's been, half a year And I should have something, because one side, it's a 2-part bin. One side has a little bit in it because I just wanted to try it and test it out. And then the other side is the one that I constantly fill up. And I feel like the other side is the one that is breaking down, whereas the one where it's just the proper proportion of dry and green, carbon and nitrogen, it's not breaking down as fast as the other one, but that's the one that I keep adding to, so I'm not really sure why this one isn't breaking down, but this one is. So if you have suggestions, I've heard that it's like you're supposed to keep it the damp sponge consistency and or wetness and everything like that, and I feel like it's not working. And I want to plant my tomatoes soon, so I was hoping to be able to use some compost this year, and it's not looking like I'm going to be able to do that. So if you have some suggestions, I would love to hear them. Also, for my garden, I have maybe went a little bit overboard, and I have 9 different tomato plants, so I'm going to be learning how to can this summer as well. But I wanted to try a whole bunch of different tomatoes, and I think I just probably should have stuck with... I don't have a problem growing tomatoes. Like, when I grow tomatoes, I can grow tomatoes, which, for me, I know that means I'm going to have a lot of tomatoes. So, for my tomatoes, I got like a chocolate tomato, a Merlot tomato, an heirloom beefsteak tomato, some kind of orange tomato, but it's not like heirloom, it's called something else, and then some regular big league tomatoes. So I know I'm going to have a lot. I usually just grow beefsteak and big league tomatoes, and I usually end up giving away those, and I only go with 3 plants, and this year I have 9, somewhere around an odd high number that is unnecessary. That's how many tomato plants I have this year. So I was hoping that I'm going to be planting those outside either next week or the week after, from what the Farmer's Almanac says. I think it's next week, around the 20th, around there. So I think it's next week I'll be planting those outside, and my basil and everything like that. But I know I'm probably not going to have compost by then, because we're looking at like a week. And I just wanted some ideas. Maybe I'll be able to use it later on in the season, but for like squashes or winter squashes, but I'm so confused. I thought I was doing this thing and it's not breaking down. I even make them smaller pieces. I'm so confused. So if you have suggestions, please. I'm not a professional composter, and I would love your suggestions. So please help me out. Help me out. So my last thing that I wanted to say before we part ways for the next couple weeks is the book that I'm reading. It's a nostalgia read, just because we are in a difficult time, a new normal. So, as I said before, I hope you're staying safe, and I hope you're staying sane. And my nostalgia read that's getting me along with my unicorn cup, is Miss Peregrine's School for Peculiar Children. If you've never read this, it is free on Audible, their streaming service for children now that they're out of school. They have tons of books that you can stream for free. Not download, but you can stream them for free. But this one is better in print just because... Let's see if I can do this for you. It has pictures. It's not a whole lot of pictures, but every couple chapters you'll get a couple pictures in there thrown in just to show you the school and the children and everything like that. But it is mostly words, but it does have a couple pictures thrown in there. I like it. The first 2 books, I think it's a 5-book series now, but the first 2 books are my favorite. I'm on book 2, so I've plowed through book 1 already, and now I'm on book 2. I find it good as an adult. Your kids might also enjoy it since it's on that kids read. I don't think it has too many like dark themes. Like, there is magic based and there is like some death, so maybe age appropriate. I don't think it'll give kids nightmares. Scratch that. I don't have kids. I don't have young kids. I don't know what gives kids nightmares. Scratch. Don't believe me. No, I watched X-Files. I started watching X-Files when I was 8. Don't believe anything I said. Hopefully it doesn't give kids nightmares, but check up. You know your kids better than I do. It's a great nostalgia read for me. As an adult, you'll probably enjoy it. How about that? We'll just leave it there. That is all that I wanted to talk about with you today. Yes, that's everything. So thank you for joining me. If you stuck through the whole podcast, I hope I wasn't too rambly. I tried not to go over my finished objects too much and repeat what I said in prior podcasts. So hopefully it's a decent length for you and it just bare bones for some of the things that you've heard about before. I hope to see you in a couple weeks when I come back here and podcast with you again. If you have any questions about anything, please put your comment down in the comment box. I would love to chat with you. If you just want to chit-chat about anything, drop a comment, DM me on Ravelry or Instagram. Be happy to chat with you. Check out my project pages for some of those finished objects as well. I didn't put all the pictures in here because I usually take a lot of pictures just because I'm one of the first people that knit, especially when it's a test knit. I usually put a lot of pictures in here, but I'll only sprinkle like 2 or 3 in the podcast. So if you want to see more pictures of those finished objects, check out my project pages, and there should be plenty in there for that. But otherwise, please subscribe to my channel. Please hit the thumbs up. If you want to put a thumbs down, you're more than welcome to too. Whatever makes you happy during this new normal time, do it. But I would love a thumbs up from you. I would love for you to subscribe to my channel just so I can be out in the interwebs and meet more people in this podcasting world. I would love that. And until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful week. Bye.